If you haven't noticed, the world is becoming more and more efficient. Like it or not, when workers have better tools or the help of robots or artificial intelligence, they can produce more, faster, and cheaper. Higher productivity is the economy's special sauce, the fuel that keeps the economic machine running at full tilt. Productivity refers to how much output a worker can do in an hour. Higher productivity typically leads to more goods and services available at a lower cost and increased wages. Without it, economy's growth is sluggish. Labor to return rates drop and wages drop with them. Now, what causes efficiency, thus productivity, to shoot up the fastest? Like it or not, a crisis. A crisis creates what is called forced efficiency. Companies and workers have to adjust quickly to the existential threat, and that sobers up everybody and stat. One of the CEOs that I advise owns a consortium of restaurants and bars across 13 major cities throughout the United States. He reported some of the most shocking statistics that I think you will find fascinating as well. 16 months after the start of the pandemic, sales at restaurants and bars in the United States were 8.8% higher than they were the 3 months before the pandemic. Yet, the number of employees working at these businesses was 7.2% lower. In other words, restaurants and bars are bringing in a lot more money now than they were before the pandemic, even with fewer workers. In fact, they're getting about 17% more sales per worker than they did before the whole COVID debacle started. It's even more shocking because COVID-driven protocols were harmful to productivity. Spacing tables further apart, installing plexiglass barriers, or serving meals to newly built environments outside, and having to clean surfaces more often. All that ate up more man and woman hours without adding to sales, causing productivity, output per worker, to decline. Now, how is all this happening then? Some of it is because restaurants and bars are charging more. Prices at these sort of places are up more than 7% since 3 months before the pandemic. But this essentially proves that those places who deliver an exemplary experience probably should have increased their prices over the average market long ago. And even when you strip out the increase in prices, labor productivity still gained 10% in a year as an average across the entire industry, especially one most affected by lockdowns and social distancing. And I think that's remarkable. The increased productivity was due to the forced efficiencies that COVID required restaurants and bars to implement. When restaurant orders are taken by computer or submitted via app, serving each customer is less work. Each worker can serve more customers per, and it makes higher pay possible. In other industries, when employees work from home 2 days a week, fewer hours are spent commuting, creating more time for work output and leisure. When you can change your airline reservation in an app, it reduces labor costs to the airline. It makes lower prices possible, which also means consumers have more money left over to buy other products and services, fueling the economy further. You see, these are all positive changes that COVID forced on our businesses and our lives. The takeaway that I want all of us to have here this morning is for us to continue to shed our labor-intensive business practices and lifestyle constraints, and to continue to remain open and wide-eyed for the more, better, and even more efficient ways of doing business and living our lives. Let's have a productive conversation here, my Darren Daily friends. What changes and productivity efficiencies and lifestyle improvements were you forced to implement due to the pandemic that you love and you will be keeping as you move forward in a post-pandemic world? I'll start by giving you some off of my list. Eliminate most, if not all, business travel. Eliminate most, if not all, in-person meetings. Continue to value and invest in my most intimate relationships. Continue to engage and communicate often with important people to me, to just check in on their well-being. Continue to help my neighbors. Continue to check in, shop for, and care for the elderly in my neighborhood. Continue the quiet, extended, and quality time with my spouse. Continue to keep my calendar as clear as possible, enjoying a minimum of social obligations. More time just thinking. More time just walking under the sun. More time learning and absorbing great wisdom. Continue my renewed appreciation for the small things that have mattered big time in my life since the pandemic. Continue to spend less money. Continue to practice clean hygiene and the joy of social distancing. Continue to keep an intensity on health awareness. And most importantly, continue my elevated sense of gratefulness and a deep sense of purpose to be a beacon for others. So now, you share what productivity, efficiencies, and lifestyle improvements were forced to be implemented due to the pandemic that you love and are keeping as you move forward in a post-pandemic world. Jot down your answers in your Darren Daily Journal and share with us in the comments below. Be sure to read other people's comments and comment back if you like theirs and add them to your list. And please share this Darren Daily with your friends and family. Let's get everybody that we can to focus on and to keep the new efficiencies that we've created, even if they were forced upon us through a crisis.
Show producer Mariana here. As you've probably gathered by now, there is a lot to be learned from the past few years. The things we've done or haven't done that have transformed the way we live and work. When it comes to building, growing, and scaling a successful business, the pandemic and the crises that we have endured have presented a challenge. Darren knows this, and that's why he wants to help you. The very best of what he has proven to work over the past few years is handed to you in his business masterclass. This is 30 plus years of his best strategies and insights compressed into 3 to 4 days. He even offers you a 3x return on your investment. So if you own a business or you want to start one, inquire about the Business Masterclass. I promise it will be the best decision of your life. Thousands of alumni have already proven this to be true. I've put a link below and at the end of the video for you to inquire further. Have a great day, everyone.